Cessna over the threshold, coming up on the white dot, at or beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left face, you're following a Cessna down low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed. There you go. Go, 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 go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final. You're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold. Take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final. Runway 9 clear to land.
Okay, all right, let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Oh, we had one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger. Let's see, what we got, a tricycle, put it down, tricycle, put it down, tricycle, put it down. Tail dragger, down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here, you clear to land on 9, all the way to the white dot, go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Canard, just come to the runway and I might have to just send you around. That'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Canard's going to have to go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. You do not descend. Do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. You can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, I lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the down ones. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. Clear to land on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow out follow on the final. And as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to resequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the down one? The Canard?
Yeah, Canard.
All right, Canard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Canard's got the jet in tight.
Okay, the RV, maybe an RV-10, whatever, you're on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there on about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around. Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that after 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. Put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep it.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Three, two, one.
Good evening. Hello, everybody. Well, I guess you'll notice that it's not the usual 4. Dave's still on holiday. Johnny is sadly on his way back from a funeral, so we are ably helped tonight by Sarah, the flying mum, and Pirate Dave there. Thank you very much for joining in and helping us out, and I hope you enjoy the experience of this evening's live stream. I don't know if you realise, but I actually played the wrong long trailer there, so I have to apologise because the one I should have played had the little Sky Demon logo at the bottom and said thank you very much to Sky Demon. This one didn't, so bad news for me, and apologies to Sky Demon. But while we're on Sky Demon, let's say thank you very much to Sky Demon. Thank you for sponsoring the live stream. And where's my mouse? Here's my mouse. And here is this week's tip, which is a short one from Hannah. Pay attention. Okay, that's for me. Click.
Hi, I'm Hannah from Sky Demon, and this is today's top tip. Sky Demon offers the option to switch on night-only airspace. Tap Mapping, Airspace, Night-only airspace to turn this option on. This is particularly useful in Germany, where there is an extensive network of military airspace that only applies to night flying. For more information on using Sky Demon, take a look at our user guide, which you can access from our website.
Excellent.
I knew about night airspace being an option, but given that night flying activities around here are so bloody rare and hard to come by, I've never really used it.
British General Aviation shuts down at 5 o'clock, doesn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Sarah and Dave, are you big night flyers?
I've got a night rating.
Well, I only got one lesson done actually on my night rating, and then I just found it was too difficult to get the timing. And when I did it at Shoreham, there's only one night a week where they were open till 8. So I sort of made a bit of a mess up. I planned to do loads of circuits, and I had to keep leaving the circuit and rejoining and leaving and rejoining because circuits stopped at about 6 p.m. So I haven't got round to the full night rating yet, but I have to start it again because you have to do it within 6 months, don't you?
British GA, making things easy.
Yeah. Pre-COVID, we used to, and we may get around to starting again. We used to do a trip over to the US in February to gain a whole load of material and stuff, and that was just so luxurious. Basing yourself at an airfield where you could turn the lights on whenever you want, come and go whenever you want. You could leave, and it was just great. And it night flying, I think, is like super. Well, at least I got over the what am I going to do if the engine stops thing just by assuming it wouldn't stop. But it's so beautiful and smooth, and a couple of times we caught the Disney fireworks when we were sort of heading back towards Kissimmee, which sort of tend to go off at 9 p.m. every night. It's just, everyone should do some night flying in their lives, I think. Absolutely.
Yeah. I definitely enjoyed it. I suppose in Florida, if you do end up in the swamp, the alligators will teach you the right way out, won't they, to the nearest highway?
Yeah, as they're digesting you.
Yeah, I hadn't been scared of night flying, but now I am.
The thing I said to my instructor is I said, honestly, single engine aircraft, and we're at shore and we're right on the beach. What do we do if the engine fails? And he was like, just get the Bible out. And I was like, okay, that's what I want to hear. Now, what's the actual plan of action? Because surely there is one. And he was like, the beads, the prayer beads. Yeah. Didn't feel with much excitement after that, I'm not going to lie.
So my theory about forced landings at night, and I'm not going to repeat that really dull cliche that everyone else repeats, but on a serious note, my theory is the best you can hope for is just hitting the ground with minimum amount of energy, basically still under control.
Yeah.
Fly it right into the big black spot and hope the big black spot is not a granite wall.
Yikes. Yeah.
But yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. So that was Sky Demon's tip of the week. Thank you very much, Sky Demon. Apologies again for not having your logo. Which brings us on to weather is our next thing. Simon's not with us tonight. It's exam results day, so he's taking his daughter out for a celebratory meal or a consolatory meal. I'm not quite sure yet.
I'm sure it's celebratory, isn't it?
I'm sure it's celebratory. It must be celebratory. Let's work on the positive. It's celebratory. Absolutely. Let's see what he's got to say about the weather anyway.
Hi everyone, hope that you're well and looking forward to another weekend of flying. Certainly going to be cooler than it has been over the last few days and indeed over last weekend. This is a forecast chart for Friday, and we've got a weak cold front that just clears away from the southeast tomorrow morning. Then we've got fair conditions actually all the way for most of Eastern Ireland, through Wales, through England, through much of central and eastern parts of Scotland. Bases around about 4,000 feet, and tops are going to be about 8,000 feet. Occluded front though coming into western Scotland, western parts of Ireland later on. This edging its way eastwards, clouds lowering there, but even along the front itself and in the rainfall, we're probably looking at bases of around 3,000 feet tops at about 12 to 10,000 feet, or even 10 to 12,000 feet. Then on to Saturday, and for Saturday, it's looking as if conditions during the course of Saturday are going to be fair again across many southern areas of the country. High pressure is in control. Bases are going to be coming in at around 3,000 feet, tops at about 10,000 feet. But this cold front coming through northern England and through Scotland still has a little bit of rain left on it. Bases 2,000 feet, tops about 12,000 feet. Just watch out for some hill fog where that rain occurs. Showers getting into western parts of Scotland, but fair across central and eastern Scotland and across much of northern parts of Ireland. 4,000 foot bases, 10,000 foot tops. And a breezier day on Saturday, a westerly breeze coming in at about 15 to 18 knots, always strongest the further west you head. Nothing untoward, it's just going to be breezier, and it's something that we've not particularly been used to. And then on to Sunday, higher pressure starting to build in once more, starting to pick up some heat, drifting in from the continent once more. Generally though, it does look like being a fair day. This front probably bringing some cloud with it. I'm going to say that we're into mostly verifiable conditions, 4,000 foot bases, tops at about 7 to 10,000 feet. However, further west through Ireland, possibly into southwest Wales, perhaps the far west of southwest England, maybe some lower cloud drifting in later. 1,000 foot bases, tops here at about 12,000 feet. But for most, it is going to be fair. It's just going to be a much, much warmer day. Just something else to watch for as well is across the south, particularly behind this front. So in this sort of area here, things may turn a little bit more hazy. But generally, it looks fair for most of us through the course of this weekend. So if you are flying, have a great one. Now, only a couple of weeks until my next Aviation Weather School Part 1 course. This course presented entirely live online by me via Zoom, and you can book your place now at weatherschool.co.uk. It's going to be held over the consecutive Saturday mornings of the 3rd and the 10th of September. If you want to build your weather confidence in your flying weather planning, this is the course for you. Be great to see you there. I'll leave you with that for now. Have a great weekend, and I'll be back with you next week. Bye for now.
Excellent.
Thank you, Simon. That looks pretty good.
Looks reasonable and makingly hot.
Who's flying then this weekend?
Yeah, hopefully.
Not me. Hoping to watch Airborne at Eastbourne.
Ooh.
Ah.
Yep. Eastbourne Airborne show. They had a good birthday today, and the weather sort of woke up this morning and it was super misty and it all cleared out, all burned off. So yeah, hoping to do that. So the weather does apply to me this weekend, although I'm not flying.
Yeah, good. That's good. Well, with a bit of luck, I think I'm planning to nip to Henstridge tomorrow, hopefully, to see if I can get a little snag fixed on the airplane with a bit of luck. Other than that, who knows? Who knows? Depends whether I get it fixed or not, I suppose. If not, I won't be going flying. Right. Just before we go onto the news, don't forget at about 8 o'clock, we got Mack Rutherford. He's not made it into the green room yet, but he's not scheduled to just yet. He landed at Narsassuaq earlier today on his way back to the UK. And I believe if all goes to plan, fingers crossed, touch wood, we'll be talking to Mack on the balcony of the tower at Narsassuaq. So hopefully, what could possibly go wrong with that, eh?
The answer to the question, where's Mack? In the live stream, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's hope they're not running around at the moment going, we can't get it to work, we can't get it to work. Anyway, yes. Right, time for some news. Ed, your story's up first.
Yes, so first bit of news. Well known in aviation circles, the Glenforsa Hotel on the Isle of Mull has been put up for sale. Long-time owners and hosts Brendan and Alison are retiring and have put the 15-bedroom, 5-acre property up for sale. It's on Rightmove, described as a unique opportunity to acquire a small, profitable hotel located on the Isle of Mull. It's up for sale around 1.5 million. The famous airstrip that everyone thinks is kind of part of it isn't part of the sale. That's owned by the local authority, though it's thought or hoped that there's some kind of deal where you can keep that arrangement. And obviously, I'm sure that's probably useful to the local air ambulance. I think there's a twin otter that operates in and out of there as well. So hopefully we'll see the Glenforce Hotel stay within a kind of aviation circle. It's certainly become a bit of a pilgrimage destination for many, many people, isn't it? So
it is. Please let some aviation enthusiast buy it, and congratulations to Brendan and Alison on the retirement.
John Milner says Brendan and Alison can't be old enough to retire. I think they've been doing it. How long have they been there now?
20 years.
20 years. I would imagine running a hotel for 20 years is quite an effort. So,
not making any reference to Brendan and Alison at all here, genuinely, but 20 years of getting up every morning and being super jolly to all the guests.
Yes.
Might get hard sometimes.
Mark Sanders says Brendan is 75. That's amazing. I would have never guessed that. Blimey.
Oh, there you go. So, and the other thing that's important, those of you who've been around a while will remember an absolutely amazing mod that we had on the Flyer forums called Keith Jillings, otherwise known as Keith. Keith sadly passed away, and there is a bench in the grounds. Glenforce was kind of like his favourite place. So there's Keith's bench there with a little plaque from his friends at the Flyer Forum. And it's for those people who go for a pilgrimage there. I mentioned this yesterday during the live stream extra. It's kind of tradition. You have to go and get a little glass of Highland Park, which was Keith's favourite drink, and drink it on the bench, even though it is freaking disgusting stuff. But there you go.
Keeps the midges away.
Yeah,
not for long, but it does. It does.
Spray it around. Anyway, I put a link in the comments to the story on that, and you'll find the link to Rightmove on there if you're feeling a bit flush.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, if you go out and you buy Glenforce and you decide to run Glenforce as a hotel rather than turn it into your house, and you do a deal with Argyll and Bute or whoever it is and get the airstrip so that you can use it, so it's still a flying destination. If you do that, we'll come up and we'll make a promotional video and we'll run it on the live stream. There you go. What a generous offer. And we'll post it up. Sorry?
We'll go up and have a party.
Flyer Club fly out.
We'll have a Flyer Club fly out as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would be quite good fun. We should maybe do that anyway. Although getting a bit late in the year. Right, my story next. So let me just pick a little thing here. Great news. The British junior gliding team came first and second in the World Championships. So Finn Slay came first. Taby Freeland came second. They were held in Tabor, Czech Republic. I think they lasted about 10 days, lots of different contests. So tasks, I should say, in gliding terms. So well done. Congratulations to them. Anyone want to guess how old you have to be eligible to fly in the World Juniors?
I don't know. Under 25?
Yep. Okay.
Well,
Right,
youngest age. Hopefully you can do it 15, can you?
Apparently, from what I've read, it's 21 to 25.
Oh. I would have thought it would be younger starting age than that.
Yeah. Maybe they have like an infant class or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Lots of people guessing 14, 16. Yeah.
The story I read said 21 to 25.
Okay. Because I know gliding kind of prides itself on always having the youngest solo people, doesn't it? So
I mean, clearly you can go solo at 14 and stuff like that in a glider. You probably can't go solo and then just schlep off and do the World Championships, because that's probably a bit tricky.
Although there are quite a lot of young glider pilots who've been flying for a long time before they go solo at 14, with sort of parents and other people in the family, and are extremely competent.
Yeah.
Richard Kimball's going to do that next.
Yeah. there are probably more young glider pilots than there are young power pilots, fixed wing, helicopter, microlight, or anything else. I would say.
Mm.
So, well done to them.
Absolutely.
Ed, your story next.
Yes, we've reported on this in the past. Well, not this particular aspect, but obviously we told you about the return of the World Air Race, which was kind of a remodeling of the Red Bull Air Race style concept. And just, I think it was last week, the organisers of the Air Race World Championship announced that the series will not be returning to the skies in 2022 as they planned. There was a statement on their social media channels. Despite the tireless efforts and support of all our race teams, suppliers and partners, some of the challenges presented by COVID and other implications posed by global economic situation have simply been too great to overcome. The events will be they're going to cancel the events in 2022. They remain committed to event organisers, competitors and fans, and they're now focusing on 2023. But by the looks of it, 2023 is going to be a challenge to the whole world financially next year. So if they didn't have a good chance of running it this year, I wonder what chances they have next year. So that's a shame, because I know a lot of people like the idea with the Red Bull Air Races, but I'm guessing when you're Red Bull and you've got millions of pounds just pour into that kind of thing, it's easy. But if you're trying to do something like it and you're not Red Bull, it's very hard.
I think it's going to be tough to raise the amount of money you need to run that, and I suspect Red Bull kind of set quite a high bar in terms of how much money they spent and the technology that they brought to it.
Yeah, we could try the Flyer Club Air Races, but I'm pretty sure we can't finance very much.
If you'd like to sponsor the Flyer Club Air Races for £250 million, euros or dollars, we'll give it a good crack.
I think we'd probably have to bring our own sheets of A4 and fold them, wouldn't we?
Talking of which, I think they used to have like paper plane competitions from the top floor balcony at in CA House, whatever that's called these days.
Oh, I don't know.
What's it called? I can't remember now. Aviation House or something like that.
Handbrake.
Yeah. Was this the CIA doing this, or?
Yeah, you know the building in Gatwick that everyone calls the Belgrano, that people get upset when you call it the Belgrano? That one there. There's like balconies up on each floor, and they used to have like paper plane competitions.
Oh, okay, but that wasn't a Red Bull sponsored thing.
No, it was probably not. It was probably sponsored by us. License fees. They were probably licenses. That's why licenses took so long, because I had to go and find them and then figure out which was which.
That's the reason for the delay.
That is it. Yeah, too many paper plane competitions. Talking of the CA, olden days. Did anyone see Andrew Haynes on TV this morning?
No.
Andrew Haynes, ex-managing director, CEO, whatever of the CA, was on TV this morning being interviewed, because obviously he's the CEO, MD of Railtrack now. And today was a big strike, so there was the BBC, or if it was the BBC or Sky or somebody else again. So, Mr. Haynes, do you feel bad about your people being on strike when you'll get paid £590,000 a year?
Oh,
and he was like, he's a Welsh chap. I don't think it's really about my money. It's about... Anyway, we'll stop with the Welsh accents.
He said he was Welsh.
Yeah, I left myself open for that, didn't I?
Yes, but I don't think he was Andrew. I've got to say, Andrew Haynes was a good leader of the CA when we had him. He was excellent.
He was very good to work with, very fair, and if you had genuine and valid criticism of the CA, he was more than good enough to take it on board, and if he could get stuff fixed, to be perfectly honest. I do know the name of the chap who's taken over, but I think I've only ever met him once, and that was by accident somewhere. But anyway. Right, next story. Last week we reported on the World Aerobatic Championships, which took place in Lesno, Poland, and about the fact that the Brits didn't send a team for various reasons. Anyway, so they are now finished, and it turns out that if you want to be a World Aerobatic Champion, at least in 2023, you will come from the French team. The French team took first place, took second place, took third place. Florent Olden took first, Alexandre Olabski took second, and Louis Vanel took third, and a lady called Aude Lemordin was the best placed female pilot, but they didn't award the female thing because there weren't enough females, apparently. So no Brits and not enough females.
Surely, if you're the best female pilot, you just win the best female pilot. You don't. It seems daft to go. We need lots of them to award the trophy.
I don't know if there was just one, or if there was like more than one, but it was deemed that it wasn't enough to make it a valid competition. I don't really. I'm sure that FAI have got special rules for it and stuff like that. But basically, it was a clean sweep by the French. So there you go. Sarah, are you into aerobatics?
Yes, yeah, I've experienced it twice, and it's on my list of ratings to get. Actually, yeah, I think it'd be really good fun.
So,
and if you've got an aerobatic rating, what aerobatic aeroplane would you want to then fly aerobatics?
Well, I haven't been in one, but I've heard that extras are really, really special. So probably that. But what I did do aerobatics in was an RV8, and that was amazing. I love RVs. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe an extra, maybe that.
Funnily enough, the French team, I think the French team all flew extra 330 SCs. So they're clearly very, very capable. Not any great aircraft to fly, but great aircraft as well. So congratulations to the French.
Oh, good. Steve Todd, who I know is associated with British Aerobatics, says Team GBR back next year. That's good news, Steve.
Excellent. Jolly good. Jolly good. Cubcrafters engine, Ed.
Yes. Cubcrafters finding a bit of news around Oshkosh and post Oshkosh. Obviously, we heard that they were at Oshkosh, that they were looking for investors by going public. Do you want to flash the photo back up again, Ian?
Sorry.
That's all right. Cubcrafters have a new engine option. It's called the CC363i F/P. It's Cubcrafters do like their geeky numbers, name and numbers combinations. But this new engine offers 5% more power for a 7-pound increase in weight. Critically, it's a fixed pitch engine prop combination, fuel injected, lower compression ratio than previous engines, meaning that they can run more tolerant fuels like MOGAS. The engine's in its final phases of flight test and should be available from October. The original Carbon Cub came to the market with the CC340, which was a lightweight derivative of the O320. And this new CC363i F/P is a collaboration between Cubcrafters and Lycoming, and it's offered exclusively to the Carbon Cub series of aircraft. So new engine for the Carbon Cub.
That's an interesting.
Carbon Cub sent in that press release. They got a bucket, they filled it with letters, they went, and they just poured it on a table, and it was like vaguely impenetrable with really dull names of everything.
Combination.
That's an interesting decision, Ed, isn't it? To have an engine apparently developed specifically for the Cubcrafters. I wonder why Lycoming have done that, or whether it was originally a Cubcrafters idea. Any thoughts?
Well, I think it was. They did. They had developed an engine specifically for the Cubcrafters application a while ago, because they were all about lightweight and high power. And since then, I think Lycoming have also teamed up with Vans to make a very specific version of the IO390 for what turned out to be the RV15, but it's also applicable to the RV14 as well. Lycoming clearly sees popular markets and are willing to develop specialist products for those markets. So
I don't think any of those engines are in use in anything certified and with any decent numbers, are they?
No.
So I mean, if you look at the amount of new engines that must get sold into home-built stroke experimental aircraft compared to certified aircraft, that's got to be a significantly bigger number by a chunky old multiple, I'd have thought.
That's presumably the Lycoming business decision, is to stop some of the cloners eating their lunch.
I guess so, yeah. I know famously there was a time when Vans were growing as a business, and Dick Van Grunsven went to Lycoming and said, can I sell your engines at a discount? And they said, who are you? And then time went on a little bit, and Vans grew in size, and famously the Lycoming rep went to see Dick Van Grunsven and went, Mr. Van Grunsven, about your fairly successful kit built business, can we offer your customers a lower cost engine and low-cost Lycomings have been the staple of home builders ever since. So, yes,
really,
it's a big bit of money.
Who are you?
Well, I think they must be, Vans must be like one of Lycoming's biggest customers, I would think, besides maybe Robinson Helicopter. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, good news, everyone. I've just spotted that Mac is here. We'll get to you soon, Mac. Take care. We won't be long. Thank you very much. It's all looking good, so that's a bit of a relief, should we say?
Yeah.
Okay, just a couple of short bits of news before we head over to Mac at 8 o'clock. For those that are interested, thanks to Rob Pritchard on the Flyer site for pointing this out. The BBC Sounds have just launched a 9-part podcast all about Emilio Sala and the accident that took place there. It's if you're watching it as a pilot and you're looking for lots of deep technical detail, then you shouldn't probably do that. If you're watching it as a kind of a human story, then it's probably more. You'll be less disappointed, should we say? I listened to the first one. There's a couple of aviation things, but it's not made for an aviation specialist audience. But yeah, tragic story. And talking of which, I'm just going to play a quick video. It's only 2 minutes, so we won't eat into Sam's max time there. Sorry, as soon as I find it, I will. Anyway. CA have just produced this, and talking about gliding, this is about the women's gliding competition, which are on at the moment. Here you go.
So we've got 12 teams. Because one of the really good things about gliding, it's a brilliant community. Gliding, it's sort of a team sport. You can't really take off on your own. And so you get to know the people around you, and particularly with internationals, which happen usually every couple of years, you get to meet some new people, some of the same people, and they become friends, which is just lovely. It's sort of magic to see all my friends have come to see my show. It's so good. Everybody involved in this is a volunteer, without exception. One of our volunteers is Kiwi, so you can't come from any further away than that. So they're all volunteers, they're all giving up their time, and they sort of get lunch and a t-shirt in recompense, But they all wanted to be part of this. We all wanted to be part of this great event. The reason for doing this was to try and start to address the gender imbalance. Now, you don't do that with one event. So for us, running the thing and getting through it is really important. But actually, one of our big work streams is the whole legacy work stream about how we take this forward.
There you go. And they've released another podcast as well.
I spotted in there Lucy Wooden, who's going to be the new chief inspector of the LAA as well, because I think she's part of the organising going on there. So
there's also some comments in there's some comments from Steph in the sidebar about how well the GB team is doing in that, and not bad seems to be the case.
Team GB club class 8th and 9th out of 18, standard class 6th, 8th and 13th of 13, and 18 metre class 8th of 12. Very good.
Excellent. Yeah, and I believe that they're still going on at the moment, those competitions, and I think Saturday is a public day, but check that with the website before you just pitch up there at Husbands Bosworth, as they say. But I do think there's a couple of public days, so. So you can go and check out that stuff. Anyone been gliding? Have we done that already?
Yeah,
did we do that?
Fantastic. I've done it only as far as solo, but I have to say, first gliding solo is as exciting as first powered solo. And as they tell you quite rightly, it shows you what your feet are for.
Yeah, absolutely. Sarah, how about you?
No, I haven't actually. It's another thing on my list of things to do. But I recently met Liz Sparrow, actually, who is a voice I recognise there. I met her at Shoreham the other day, where Catherine Maloney hosted like a Women in Aviation lunch, and that's the first time that I'd actually seen a glider close up. So she'd actually glided in, landed at Shoreham for the event, and she walked us all over there, and she showed us the glider. And yeah, that's the first time I'd seen one, in person and up close. And she sort of opened up the cockpit and she showed us inside. And I was looking at something and I really wanted to ask a question, but I was really aware that it was a really silly question. And I was holding it in and holding it in. And I was thinking, do you know what? I'm not going to learn anything unless I ask them. I asked her and I said, why have you got a fuel pump if there's no engine? and someone next to me said, thank God you asked that, because I really wanted to know the answer. So I thought, you're never going to learn. So she said, oh, watch this. She pressed this, she turned something on, she turned the master on, and she pressed this button, and out from the back of the glider, 2 bits of the panel open, and this little propeller popped up. And I was like, oh, it was like something from a Bond film. It was amazing. I loved it. And I said to her, how many times have you used that? You know, and she said, I think she said, in all the time she's glided, or that particular glider, she'd only needed to use it twice out of a really, really high number of flights. But she said it's really emergency backup. But yeah, I thought that was amazing to see that.
Brilliant.
On our strip, Tim Dews from Airborne Composites has loads of fascinating gliders at extremely high prices, and he sometimes brings one in which is very similar to that, except when the Bond doors open up, what pops out is a jet engine.
Ooh, fancy.
That's pretty cool. That is Bond-like, isn't it? Anyway, talking to Bond, it's time to bring in Mack Rutherford. Mack Bond Rutherford. Let me bring you in.
I was going to ask the question, where's Mack? So you could do that. Where's Mack? He's right there.
Hello, Mack. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
It's good. And you are, I believe, on the balcony outside the tower in Narsarsuaq.
Yes, Greenland. So I landed about 3.5 hours ago.
Excellent. So we've come in for a bit of stick before for not properly introducing guests and just making the assumption that everyone knew who they were all the time. And I'm pretty sure that everyone knows who you are. But just in case you don't, this is Mack Rutherford. He is currently on his way around the world. If he completes his trip and lands in Sofia, Bulgaria, I believe is where it ends, he'll be the youngest person to have flown around the world. And last year, as you would have hopefully spotted as well, was it last year or the year before? His sister flew around the world as well, Zara. We've spoken to Zara before. But anyway, this is all about Mack. This is not about Zara. So, Mack, you landed in Narsarsuaq today. What are your plans now for the rest of the next couple of days?
So, nice days and nights. And tomorrow I'm stay there for that. And then Scotland and go all around lots of different airfields. Then Belgium, Slovakia, and
so I think we kind of got about 50% of that. But I think tomorrow's Iceland, then it's Scotland, then Sunday some places around the UK, Belgium, and then making your way down to Sofia in Bulgaria, where your sponsors are, I believe.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. So, how was it being stuck in Dubai and Greece for all that time?
It wasn't great. It was. I really wanted to fly, so it was quite difficult. But I'm past that now, and I'm flying it very regularly. So
I saw today you had something like 150 knots ground speed heading over to Narsarsuaq, so you must have picked up a bit of a tailwind there.
Yeah. So I had about 10 knots tailwind the whole way, and also I had lots of fuel, so I decided to go like 140 knots, which is faster than because it's less fuel emissions. But I had lots of fuel.
So how long is it since you actually left? I think we spoke to you before you left, but I can't remember when that was.
23rd of March, so almost 5 months, I believe.
And during that time, I believe you've had your birthday?
Yes, so I'm 17, 21st of June.
So, excuse me for saying this, but when we interviewed you before you left, you were clearly a very young pilot. And you're still a very young pilot in terms of age, but in terms of experience, you've presumably grown quite a bit. Can you feel that? Are you a different pilot when you wake up in the morning these days?
Yeah. So I remember one of the most stressful parts of my journey at the start, which was when the fuel didn't work over the Sahara Desert. I was extremely stressed, not to the point of panic, but I really wasn't enjoying it. But then on my flight through the Pacific, for example, which I think was a lot more challenging, I was able to handle that stress a lot better, and I was just more matter of factly and just get the job done and worry about it later, which so I definitely think I've grown as a pilot.
And are you still? Have you managed to temper that growth with a kind of like healthy respect for? It hasn't turned into complacency, should we say?
No, definitely not. So I'm still doing the same checks I'm still doing everything the same. I'm just better at handling stress I felt at the start.
And what's so your stressful moments were basically the South Pacific and the Sahara, you said?
Well, so the Sahara Desert, Indian Ocean, the monsoon in India, some of the flights from Vietnam to Taiwan, for example, and then the big one was the Ocean, and now the Atlantic Ocean.
And obviously, how are you feeling about the Atlantic?
It's actually been going quite well. So today was it was surprisingly good weather, like not normal, not as normally as good as today. Blue skies, it still is, and it could be the same for tomorrow. So great weather for the moment, and hopefully it carries on all the way.
How long is it going to take you to fly to Iceland?
About 5 hours.
And are you overnighting in Iceland tomorrow?
Yes, so one night.
Okay. And presumably you're going to Reykjavik or Keflavik?
Reykjavik.
Reykjavik.
Cool.
Andrew
Bruthman asks, which country so far have you encountered the biggest admin headache?
So I guess that the answer to that question would probably be Iran, because that was initially my plan to go through Iran. And we applied for the visa and did all the paperwork, but they just didn't respond. So I think I spent, they said something between 7 to 10 working days, but that just passed. And so that was quite annoying, because I really was looking forward to flying through Iran. But then I carried on through Pakistan and India, and that was fine. But other than that, it's been mostly okay. There have been some problems, which is why I was stuck for a month and a half in Crete and a month and a half in Dubai. But it's mostly been okay.
Yeah, and sorry, Ian.
No, go for it.
And I saw on Facebook recently, while you've been coming through America, that you bumped into Philip Steinbach, didn't you, the game bird designer, and went flying with him.
Yeah, so when I flew from Texas to Arkansas, I landed in a small airport called Bentonville, and I think he's based there permanently. And so he took me up for a flight in his stunt plane, which was really nice. And then the next day, he and one of his friends took off, and for the first 20 minutes of the flight, we flew in formation. And of course, I'm not very experienced in formation, so I just flew straight. But then he would do all sorts of tricks, like doing a flip, going around, doing all sorts of cool stuff next to me, which was really nice.
Oh wow! I hope we get to see some video of that somewhere.
Yeah.
Talking of video, have you been taking lots of video on your phone or GoPros or whatever?
Yes, so I have actually I have 2 GoPros that can go on the wings, and I have 1 GoPro that sits inside my plane, and I also use my phone, and I have like a handle, so I can film takeoffs and landings, and also just general flying. So lots of footage.
And what are your plans for when you finish?
Once I'm gonna have to school. I've missed a lot of. But then I'm hoping to carry on flying and probably university, something like that.
So when you say go back to school, it's been a while since I've been to school, but I'm assuming, are you starting your 2 years A levels, or are you halfway through your A levels?
Halfway through my levels, so yeah, I need to start working. I'm gonna have to work hard.
Okay, so you got a year of that left then before you apply for uni.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fairly sure that if in the future I was looking at Mack's CV, and even, I'm sure you're not going to get like mediocre scores at your A levels, Mack, but if it was like flew around the world, it would be like, yeah, no, I think we need to give this person a job.
Do you think there'd be someone going, yeah, clearly that's creative writing, and he would never have done that? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe.
Cool. So what's your, if you had to highlight one big takeaway from the trip so far?
Just keep going. There were lots of times where it just seemed like there was no possible solution, and we somehow figured our way through. Like, for example, in Dubai, it was really difficult to imagine me actually being able to cross the Pacific, because Russia was no, of course, and then Japan as well. Just they don't allow my type of microlights in at all. So and normally they've been very strict about that rule. So it was very hard to imagine me being able to finish it. But amazingly, the Japanese said yes. For the first time in their history, they've allowed a foreign microlight into their airspace, and then also allowed a microlight to fly 25 nautical miles from their local aerodrome. So a huge step, and it was amazing. So I was then able to fly to Japan and then to the US from there.
That must be quite special. Talking of the US, did you land at JFK?
Yes, when I was in New York, I landed in JFK, so that was really cool. I remember when I was taking off the next day, the 2 days after, there were like 3 passenger jets in front of me and like 8 behind me. Just so I was out of there very quickly, and just, yeah, so that was also really cool.
So I guess some of the most complicated bits at JFK must be finding your way around the taxiways.
Luckily, I had a follow me for that. So yeah, otherwise I would have messed up. I would have gone somewhere wrong and gone to the wrong runway or something like that.
Cool. And then you had some posh. Did you have some posh do at the Belgian embassy or something? Did I say?
Yes. So in New York, I was invited to the Belgian consulate. I think it's where they do all the UN. So it's that they do all the UN meetings and stuff. And so I stayed there for an hour, and that was really nice.
And how's the aeroplane performed?
Yeah, it's been very good. The engine's been working completely fine. I've had a few issues, but none of them major. And yeah, it's been acting perfectly fine.
No problems getting hold of fuel anywhere on the route?
No, well, actually, my plane can take both MoGas and Avgas, so that's quite simple. Either just take jerry cans from the local petrol station or Avgas, which you can usually find anywhere. So yeah. That's
cool. Excellent. Dave, Sarah, Ed, have you got any questions? Was there any questions in the comments?
I think
I just leap in with one, if I may, Mack. I mean, you've had some enforced stays, but places that you've run through at speed, which of them would you really like to go back and spend more time just looking around the country?
Vietnam. I didn't see much of Vietnam. There are lots of those types of places, to be honest. I have rattled through much of the world without seeing a huge amount of it. Vietnam, South Korea, Japan. I didn't do a huge amount of Japan. Just basically almost everywhere I've been, I've only been able to get a glimpse of what it's like, but not really get the full experience.
Thanks. Slow trip next time.
Yeah.
I've got a question, if I may.
Sorry.
It's sort of following on Dave's, actually. What's been, or which sort of area has been the most stunning landscape you've ever seen? Has anywhere sort of left you breathless, or
Yes. So, well, there are quite a few of those. So, Sahara Desert, Kenya. Then there was Burma, was really nice. Thailand. I really liked the Aleutian Islands, so near Alaska. The American cities, and some of Mexico and North America, and actually Greenland. I don't know if you want to see, but it's pretty.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll move in a little bit.
And secondly, where is the cheapest fuel?
Sorry?
Where's been the cheapest fuel? What the fuel price is like?
It's quite expensive. The cheapest fuel. Well, so every so often I get fuel for free, so I guess that's probably the cheapest fuel.
Oh, winner.
Nice. So, but no, I'm not entirely sure. I can't. It's been quite a long time of traveling.
Yeah, well, lots has changed here, so you're better off there.
Yeah. Do you know how many hours you play?
Probably on this journey, probably about 230 hours.
Wow. And how many hours did you have before you left?
Probably about 100 hours.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Ed, sorry, I think I stepped on you.
That's all right. Crispin Horsfield says, was there anyone actually at Isla Socorro?
Yes, there were about like 10 Mexican military people. Quite interestingly, to get to the island, you have to have permission from the Mexican president, so that was quite cool. But actually, I did land in an uninhabited island. So Attu Island, my first stop in the US, was completely abandoned. So that was a really interesting stop. So I stayed the night there, and then I left. But Isla Socorro, yeah, there were like 10 Mexican people, Mexican Navy, and I think they were Navy. And yeah, it was a really nice stop as well.
That must be bonkers to go somewhere where there's no one but you, though. That must be amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible. So I landed at midnight, but it was so far up north that there was still a little bit of light. And it was pouring down with the rain, low clouds. So I just sort of taxied down. I saw a small shed on the side of the runway. Stayed there for the night, and then the next day I went out, and it was absolutely beautiful. So it's like a tiny island, but it's very mountainous and green. So just walked around the island a little bit, and yeah, it was incredible.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that is astounding.
Yeah. Darren Lewington says, late to the party, but this evening, but blimey, the Rutherford siblings are truly something else. It bodes well for the future of aviation.
Thank you very much.
I think the question's been asked before by several people, but have your parents just got 2 children?
Yes, just 2.
Okay. Yeah. Really good. And so if all goes to plan and there's no more weather delays, it broke up a bit at the beginning. When do you expect to actually finish in Sofia?
In about 6 days.
In about 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you've got an awful long time to finish in order to claim the record, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, I probably have another year and a half or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, I'll have to get back to school. But other than that, I'm not under any pressure.
Is it the world's best late? It's like the world's best late homework excuse, isn't it? I've been flying around the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Any more questions out there?
I don't think so.
Well, it's a silly one, really. But I want to know, what's your go-to snack when you're on a really, really long journey?
I don't really. The thing is, the problem with the snacks in my airplane, because of the extra fuel tank I have, and that we had to quickly put the extra fuel tank I had to quickly put in South Korea. Any food I put in there tastes of fuel after one night. So I don't really, put anything in my plane because it'll taste horrible by the next day. So mostly just wait until. Yeah.
And I've got a dull question, Mac, which is: are you really still wearing your immersion suit 3 hours after you've landed?
Yeah, I haven't.
Oh, sweaty.
Warm.
He's been wearing it since he left. It hasn't been taken off.
It's quite good, so that's fine. But yeah, I've basically been since then.
Are you staying at the hotel just by where you can see?
I'm staying in a room. I'm not sure I don't know if it's a county hotel. But yeah.
Right. Andrea says next time a race around the world between you and your sister.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, well, thank you very much, Mac. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to whoever's organised that in Greenland, in Narsarsuaq. Fantastic place. Enjoy your time there. Take a little walk around tomorrow. Have a safe flight to Iceland tomorrow, and then onwards to Scotland and wherever else on Saturday or Sunday, whenever that is. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, have a great one, and then come and see us when you're back. And we look forward to catching up and getting the whole story when you're back. Maybe we'll pop over to Belgium, find a time, whether it's in a place where we can sit down and chat with you and your sister.
Yeah.
Great.
Tremendous. Well flown and keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep going and take care. You're nearly there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue skies, Mac.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Best of
Go
luck.
and have a well-deserved rest, and maybe take that off and grab a shower as well.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks, Mac.
Thank you, Mac.
It must be time for Fantasy Hangar.
Oh, I can't do two things.
I'm just in awe of that. It's just 100 hours when you leave, you go and fly a microlight around the world. It's just astonishing, isn't it?
There must be a load of old wasters like me out there going, what have I been doing with my life?
No. Yeah. Very well, just very impressive. It's like you don't need to go and do your A levels. Surely that's a big statement about your ability to achieve.
You don't need to do A-level geography, that's for sure.
No. Someone mentioned that in the comments, and there's lots of Carol Aviation says, "Good luck, Mac. Best regards from Poland." Carol, we met you at Aero Friedrichshafen. Nice to see you. Julian Treadwell says, "Good luck."
Didn't we meet him in the LAA Valley?
No, this is Carol Brentic. We met him on the. Do you remember when Zara was on the Shark stand? Anyway, lots of good comments, and Matt wishing Mac well. So yeah.
Well done, Mac.
As Dan Smith says, when my daughter was 16, it was a challenge to get the bus into town. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
fancy hangar this week with the beautiful flying location of Glenforsa popping up on Rightmove for sale. That had us thinking, what other dream home airstrips could we find for sale? And obviously, we put this out to our guest presenters, Dave and Sarah, as well. Who's first?
I think you should go first, Ed.
Okay, I can go first.
I've just noticed you've got rather a lot of choices there, haven't you?
Well, I have 3 photos of my location because I think you have 2 photos for your location. Sarah has a few. Dave has 3 as well. So because you can't, these are big sites, so you can't do it.
Which one would you like first?
The one marked, the first one in the list would be good. So I found this on Barnstormers. It's an airfield in, and it's. I thought, with your strip, you don't want to have trouble with neighbours. And you need a big size plot. So this one is 370 acres. It's in Weatherly, Pennsylvania, and in the Ridge and Valley province of the Appalachian Mountains between Spring Mountain and Roundhead Mountain to the north, and Broad Mountain to the south. It's got some scenic water views, nature's wildlife all around, rolling meadows, rich wooded acreage. but it's also got what they call a custom-built English manor house, an updated 19th century barn, a 60 by 100 pole barn, a greenhouse, a windmill, a bunch of other amenities. It's also got a 3,500 foot private airstrip. Now that's an airstrip just for this house, and a heated and insulated hangar that will take three aeroplanes. And the bargain price for this, so for 370 acres and all of this, is a small $5.785 million. So,
and you don't even get water in the swimming pool.
Was there no water? I missed that, Dave. Was there? It does look a touch dry, doesn't it? It's yeah. I must admit, if I was there, I probably wouldn't use the swimming pool. But yeah. But there we go.
You could ask for a discount as it's got now. How much did you say it was? 5.7 something million.
$5.785 million. So, but that's a lot of acres. 500. You know, this is your own airfield, and you have
no millions as well, though.
Sorry.
It's quite a few millions as well.
5.7 millions. Yeah.
It's a fantasy hangar.
It is fancy hangar. Yeah. I think this is definitely making Glenforsa seem like a bargain.
Yeah, only $1.5 million. And yeah,
exactly.
And that one you don't have to be nice to any guests, do you? The one in Pennsylvania. Right. Let's move on to Pirate Dave.
Okay. Right. Well, I spent a bit of time earlier in my life in Arizona. So when I knew what the thing was, I actually looked for hangar houses in Arizona because I want to go back there. And I found a place up on the Mogollon Rim, so northeast of Phoenix, out of the valley. So it's not going to be terribly hot. It's going to be very pleasant. And the house with hangar is $1.8 million. So probably around the same price as Glenforsa. And look at that. See the views from there. How fantastic is that?
That could almost be Glenforsa, really.
I suppose it could be, yeah. So there's a little deck out there. There's massive hangar homes. There's an area where you can meet up with your flying buddies to talk rubbish, as we do. What's wrong with that?
Yeah,
I love that row of recliner armchairs.
Yeah,
you can just imagine 4 good old boys with their rifles, can't it?
Well, I assumed there were the landing scorecards were down by the side of the seats.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be curmudgeon's meet here, isn't it? I mean, it's very nice, Dave, but you do have neighbours. It's like you have to share the airfield with other people.
That's right. They can mow the lawn and do all the horrible things, and I'll just open the beers for when they're finished.
Richard Kennedy says there's no space for an aircraft in that hangar. How big is your aeroplane, Richard? That was a reasonable sized hangar.
I reckon you could get an RV8 and an RV15 in there.
Well, there we go. That's plenty big enough, isn't it? And to be fair, there's a lot of rubbish in there. That would clear out. I'd have a tiny freak bit on that. So
don't stand still around Ed, or he'll bin you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to leave Sarah till last.
Paul Benson's hit it on the head. The Parker Knowles squadron.
I'm going to leave you till last, Sarah, because you've actually got 2 choices, which we'll forgive as it's your first fantasy hangar thing. So I went a bit closer to home, and I went relatively small. So I went to this little country estate, which is kind of just north of the Pyrenees in France. So very, very good living, good food, good wine, guaranteed pretty much there. There's that, if you can see in that picture, there's a little helipad should you happen to have a helicopter. And there's also a little beautiful airstrip, which bizarrely someone has madly stuck a bloody palm tree in the middle. So that would be that looks like an inflatable palm tree
when you're hand swinging it.
Yeah. So is that like a big? It's like a universal direction, big grassy area out the front of your house.
It does look like a bit like that, doesn't it? And the unless the palm tree is like a disguised 5G mast or a strange windsock.
Actually, maybe it's hinged at the bottom like Thunderbird 2.
Oh yeah,
good point. Yes.
So how much? So this looks quite expensive, Ian.
Well, surprisingly, it's not. It's 1.5 million euros.
Oh, okay. And that's one private airstrip property.
One private airstrip, one house. I mean, the house, it's got 5 hectares, which I'm not quite sure how many of that is in acres. I'm sure someone in the comments will know that. But it's a lot of acres. It's more acres than 5. It's a lot. There's enough grass to cut to keep you busy. And it's got a nice house with plenty of rooms and outbuildings and stuff like that. You know, I don't think it's a problem. And there will undoubtedly be a cellar for wine somewhere as well. So I think that would be my choice. So there you go. So which Sarah?
Andrea's figured out what your palm is for. It's obviously where they stick the windsock.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if you get like 15 knot palm trees or 30 knot palm trees or microlight palm trees that move and sway in a breeze.
I'm guessing that the 50 knot palm tree is when all the bits come off.
They're the ones in Naples, aren't they? That are left all over the road in Florida after a hurricane's gone through. Right.
Yeah, Dan Smith says it's a bit like Glen Forsa, but in the sun.
In the sun, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah. And ironically, most of the seafood from Glen Forsa probably gets shipped to France and Spain to be consumed there.
Yeah. Right. So
that leaves
Sarah.
Yes. So the first one, well, I've never been to California before, and I would really like to go there. So the first one I chose was a house, a home and hangar at Alta Sierra Air Park in California. And it doesn't say how much land it's got, but it's got beautiful grounds, it's got a vineyard, lovely private strip. But really what swayed my decision, even though it's not included probably, is this airplane. Because it just reminded me of the tailwheel Eurofox, which I've been flying up until recently. So yeah, I saw that and I was like, it's got to be that one. I don't know if it's included in the sale, but I'm sure we can negotiate somehow. So yeah, that was the one I chose. But then I decided.
Do you know how much was it? Do you know?
Yeah, it was $1.8 million. But I don't know say how much land was included, so I can't say if that was good or not.
Have you got neighbours, Sarah?
I mean, it doesn't look like it. There's a lot of trees. It doesn't really say, but I'm imagining not.
Hang on,
the runway does say "go away" on it. Well,
it does say private, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does say private, and it's tarmac's nice.
It looks like a nice spot. I like it.
Yeah, it does look good.
It looks like beautiful terrain. But then I decided, why have one fixed location when you could be floating around? And since I've joined the dark side of Rotary, I think I just like a big super yacht, really. So yeah, I'll land my helicopter on there and decide where I'll go next.
I've got to say, in the spirit of fancy hangar, your poor old helicopter has to sit out in the wet.
It does. I did think technically it's not a hangar, but tomato, tomato. It's absolutely stunning. It's got, I think, 12 cabins and it's a crew of 30 it needs. And it will just set you back a small 112 million euros.
Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely putting the fantasy in fancy hangar. And I reckon if you took that pool out of the middle bit and then put some hangar doors on that sticky out at the front, then I reckon that's somewhere where you could keep your helicopter, isn't it?
Actually, you've just reminded me of something that I saw this week on YouTube, and I really wish I had a link or something to show you guys. I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but it's a really small hangar that fits a two-bladed helicopter like a Robinson R44 or R66, and it's made of sort of aluminium. It looks like a traditional hangar, but you press a button and it opens up and it folds out. So actually, that would fit on there. So it was amazing. I saw it on YouTube this week, and I don't know if you can buy it really where it exists, but I watched it. So literally the helicopter took off, came back, landed as if it was a helipad, and then it closed up onto it again.
Oh man,
so
I think
that could be a fly trap for Robinson.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. I was thinking it's got to be a real precision landing because it was very, very narrow, and I'm not there yet.
Wow. And they've been watching definitely been watching too much Thunderbirds, I think.
Yeah, but I mean that could go on the yacht.
I like that. Yeah, I think
the yacht wins.
If you put that yacht on that hangar on that yacht, people would, the other yacht owners would be like, "What have you done to that yacht?" But it would definitely be the fantasy hangar.
Yeah, and then
I think as well, we have to say that Sarah has probably broken the fantasy hangar value record. I don't think we've had anything for 112 million before.
No, yeah, Sarah's choice is nice, but it does seem like there's a lot of Ian wins. Well, Carol says Sarah wins, and obviously Claire says Sarah's choice is nice. I'm going to have to go for Ian. Ian wins. There is a lot of Ian. Oh, Sarah wins. That might have been for your previous property. We're having it. So 5 hectares is 12.4 acres.
Thank you. That's enough.
Oh, John O'Holland, I think might be the only person voting for me. Ed in the lead so far. Ian wins again. Ian winning so far. Ian wins. There's some more. Ian wins. Alta Sierra has too many neighbours, but the yacht would allow you to go anywhere. That's true. Ian this week. Where's the link? Ian, they want a link to your property. Can you find it? Yeah. Ian wins.
And an invitation.
I can find it, but the easiest way to find it is to where is it?
Okay, Sarah, most imaginative. Ian, the Pyrenees.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. Go and Google Émile Garcin and see if you can find out from there.
Yeah, yours is in the middle of the winter. The snow's going to come up to the top of those trees.
But you just get a ski plane then, don't you?
That's what's great about the Pyrenees. You get little Jodelle. You get a little Jodelle on skis, little hydraulic skis that you pump down, and then you pop over to an alty surface, and then you go a bit of skiing, and then you come back. Yeah. And then it's what's not to like. And if you're naughty, you go to Lord and ask for forgiveness or whatever it is people do.
Thomas Watson says, I'd land a cub on the deck of that yacht. Steve Newjam says, if the helicopter catches fire, you can empty the cool onto the helipad. That's a bit harsh on the helicopter.
Yeah.
Right.
We are 6 minutes over time, so I'm just going to have a quick canter through what was next, which is, I think, the events diary. So unless I've missed anything else, we've got Women's World Gliding Championship, which is on at the moment. Also, you got the World Glider Aerobatic Championship in France. And talking of aerobatics, you got the Vintage Aerobatic World Championship up at Brayton. Go have a look at that. On Saturday, flying proms at Old Walden, which may or may not be sold out. I'm not entirely sure. 20th again on Saturday, a Stoke Medway fly-in summer party. If you want to go all the way to Austria, you've got the Rotax fly-in on the 20th, Vintage Aircraft Club fly-in drive-in at Bicester on the 21st, evening barbecue and fly-in on Popham on the 25th. That could be worth going to. I might see if I can make it there. Vintage Aircraft Club flying at Old Warden, Wings and Wheels Headstridge on the 27th. There's probably an awful lot more, but we'll tell you more about that next week. Before I go, personally, I just want to say, if you're not a member of the club, then join. Just join. It's simple. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube type stuff. And I would also like to thank Ed, Dave, and Sarah, particularly Dave and Sarah, for stepping in. Not that I don't want to thank you, Ed, but Dave and Sarah for their Sarah for breaking the record, Dave for getting up in that pirate gear. That was great.
It's not my choice.
Oh, is it not like fancy dress?
No.
I thought it was a joke that Johnny had played on you when he sent the invite.
Pirate.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, everyone. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your flying. Maybe see you at an airfield somewhere. Otherwise, see you next Wednesday for a live stream extra, next Thursday for live stream. And don't forget, join. Thank you very much.
Thanks all. Have a good evening. Fly safe at the weekend.
Bye.
Thank you.
Safe flight back.